Motoring, your on-air automotive magazine. Hello, everyone. We've got plenty of great automotive stories and updates, and along with me to talk about it all is Les Jackson. Les, how you doing?
Excellent, Fred. Excellent. And this is a pretty exciting week, and I'm going to get started with a pretty exciting subject here. Dodge does some Charger Sixpack pricing, so hang on. Find out what that baby's going to cost you.
Oh, yeah. That is the big horsepower straight six twin turbocharged engine. We will talk about that. Plus, BMW says goodbye to one of its longest running models with a very special send-off.
And a very special price. We'll tell you that too. And Honda has a hit since no one is passing on the Passport.
Very good-looking vehicle.
It's amazing.
It's a very good-looking vehicle, and I can see why it's selling well. We'll talk about that. And Mazda bucks the trend with what many customers want when they put something very large in their new CX-5 crossover. We'll talk about that. It almost looks a little silly.
A little disproportionate.
Yes. Yeah. I would say that. You have a story on another interesting new vehicle, right?
That is correct. Nissan shows its Rogue Hybrid. But is this enough for Nissan? We're a little worried.
Yeah, it also looks very similar to another model, so we'll talk about that.
Yep, that's right.
And then talking tech, is it time for the two-stroke engine to return? Now, we're not talking about the ones where you add oil with the gas. We're talking about like a two-stroke. It was common in some diesels. GM says maybe. So we'll talk about some of that technology and how they'll make it clean, right?
That's right. And here's a word you haven't heard in a long time. Minivan sales are hitting a high note once again. I predicted this, and actually, as I was putting together the top 10 vehicles for the DC Auto Show coming in January, a minivan was picked as one of those.
Yeah, we always thought they were great, and they're making a big comeback. So we'll talk about that. Plus, why are Porsche's engines shutting down, but only in one country? Seems like a mystery, but we'll tell you about that and more when we get rolling on Cruise Control Motoring.
Well, speaking of power, Fred, and we always love power. The Dodge Sixpack, we're going to tell the pricing of it, but this is ordering time if you're in the market for one of these, and if you want a muscle car, I think you better line up because the Sixpack will give you a lot of that and possibly a lot of speeding tickets, but that's your problem, not the car's problem.
Right.
And the Sixpack is offered with the 420 horsepower, only 420 horsepower Charger RT, but you can get 550 or 670. Is that enough, Fred?
That's enough. I mean, actually, the 425 or the 420 is a great way to start. That's available in both the two-door coupe and the four-door sedan. That's more standard horsepower from any muscle car, making the full 2026 Dodge Charger multi-energy lineup available at dealerships. But let's talk about a little bit about the 2026 Dodge Charger RT. As I said, it starts with that 3-liter twin turbocharged six-pack engine, 420 horsepower, 468 pound-feet of torque, a top speed of 168 miles an hour. And it delivers 100% of its torque at 2,500 RPM for immediate low-end response, something that's very important on the highway, isn't it? Yep. On the road.
That's absolutely. That's where all the fun is, if you really think about it.
Yeah, and 22 pounds of boost. Think about that. Think about that. Not too long ago, if you said, "Oh, I'm running 22 pounds of boost," it would be some kind of exotic, hot rod.
That's
But now,
right.
now this is a production car, right?
That's 1.5 atmospheres. Usually, one atmosphere, 14.6 pounds, was more than enough. I mean, in fact, that was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But this is boost with a big capital B,
Yes.
and that's got to increase your horsepower by
Well, it
one and a
sure
half
does.
times.
And also, if you want more, as you said, you can step up to a 550 horsepower version of the Dodge Charger. That's the Scat Pack edition, 550 horsepower, coming from the same six pack. They just turned the wick up a bit.
Yep.
And then if you want to go for the all-electric version, which has not sold well, but it is still
No.
available. That's Daytona Scat Pack is 670 horsepower, all electric. So let's talk price, shall we?
Yes. Now, actually, yeah, it's a lot of money for these, but it's not all that much money for all that much power.
Okay.
But basically, the RT, it's the starting price of $49,990, 50,000.
Okay, 50,000.
It's $5.
425 horsepower. Is that rear wheel drive only? I think it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And then the four-door model is available at 51,995.
Yeah, 2,000 more for all of these. Yeah.
That's right. And by the way, you'd be able to, they're going to start producing these in January, February, so you'll be able to take delivery by the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start getting to the 550 horsepower Scat Pack, and it's not a bad jump in price. 54,995. That's not bad.
That's worth $5,000. Horsepower doesn't come cheap,
If you've decided to do it, you may as well do it a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, 54.
Now that one does get standard all-wheel drive.
Right.
And
then you get to the Daytona Scat Pack, which is all electric. Now, of course, all electric gives you 670 and massive amounts of acceleration. And even that is only another $5,000, which is really quite low for an all electric, Shazam model. It's not selling. Frankly, I think it's not selling because it doesn't sound like a Charger.
Yeah, even with their Frazonic audio system, exhaust system, it's not selling. So I think, I think a lot of people are going to go for the 550 horsepower version, all-wheel drive. What I'm going to ask you about is, I think they will have a Dodge Pursuit version of this. They will definitely want all-wheel drive. Will they? I don't know if they want to put 550 horsepower in the police fleet. 425 is more than enough. I guess they will eventually make an all-wheel drive 425 horsepower
they
version.
Probably will.
For that.
They just, these things continue to sell. They're reliable. They look pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good as a four-door too. It's a good-looking vehicle. I frankly think it's a better-looking vehicle than the one it replaced. I do also think, as we say all the time, that it will get a Hemi V8 option. But the weird thing is, where do you bring that Hemi in? You don't bring it in as the standard Hemi that's around 400 something horsepower, do you? Maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe it's like the F-150 where people still want the V8,
right.
so they offer it.
Well, And people will pay a little extra money for just a Hemi. They they know it's a Hemi. It's a legendary engine. It has its own persona.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be all that much more powerful because it's a Hemi.
Right.
So, they're doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting pricing. What do you think? Let us know in the comments because, it's not cheap, but, for that
No,
horsepower, in a way, it is cheap. $50,000 for 420 horsepower to start out. So we'll talk about that. BMW is saying goodbye to one of its, standout cars, I would say, Les Jackson. That is the Z4. I like this vehicle. I always thought it was a cool looking vehicle, and it's going away. It's going out of the lineup. We're not sure if it's going to be replaced, but while it's still here, they're going to make a very limited edition M40i version of it with exclusive individual frozen black metallic paint, Vernasca and Alcantara interior with distinctive red contrast stitching, and available with a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed Steptronic transmission. MSRP of $77,500 plus the $1,175 destination and handling. Good looking vehicle. I always liked the Z4. How about you?
well, I never cared very much for the exterior look of the Z4. It had a lot of angles and cuts, um, very, very much contrasting with the Z3, which was smooth and curvy. But boy, the Z4 drove great, and still does, and it handles great, and it just felt roomier inside. So it was overall a better car than the Z3,
Mm-hmm.
but I never actually cared for the angular Z4 look.
Okay. Okay. It came about, by the way. It premiered in autumn of 2002 as the direct successor to the BMW Z3,
Right.
which was launched in 1995. And also its predecessor, the BMW Roadster, known as the E85, which sounds like gasoline now, but
That's right.
the second generation came along in December of 2008. And one of the big changes I liked in that second generation, the interior got a lot better. The first gen interior, I always thought was just a slab, the dashboard, and it just was not really appealing to me. It seemed like they cheaped out on the interior, and you know how much I hate that when they cheap out on an interior. So the second generation really was the good generation. It brought in that body style you don't like, though, I know, but I think it's a great car. Talking about some of the things that you get on the final edition, you're going to get the driver assistance package with park distance control, active blind spot detection, speed limit info, lane keeping assist, forward collision mitigation, and a premium package with ambient lighting, parking assistant, head-up display, and active distance control with side protection. Harman Kardon surround sound system, and a moonlight black soft top. These were only available in soft tops, weren't they? They did not have a hard top version, did they? I don't think so.
No, that's the same way with the Z3. Interesting and contrasting. The Z3 production ended in 2001, and you just read off all of these safety and telematics features of the Z4. The Z3 offered air conditioning and cruise control and heated seats.
Wow. And heated seats was probably the big deal. It's always a big deal.
Well,
with
that was,
BMW.
by the way, heated seats and cruise control were and there were a couple other things were $3,000 more than the base price.
Wow. Wow.
I know this because we have one right downstairs in the garage, my wife's 2000 Z3
Right.
that she bought new for
With a
a
manual.
little less than half of the cost of the Z4. But that so that's not bad over 25 years.
No, no. I reviewed a Z4 not that long ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I thought, wow, I could really live with this. It was a fun car to drive. It would be a fun extra, like just a fun car. I just loved the way it drove. I didn't want to stop driving it, and I wonder what these will be like on the used market. I'm sure there's a lot of them available, so I would say if they're trading at 70, maybe they're now at 40. Depending on the year, who knows?
I will never forget when you and I had one of these at a track event.
Yes.
And we didn't realize that the switch was on the valet mode.
Yeah, it was a Turbo 4 model, and I said, "This is terrible. This is slow.
This thing won't get out of its own way."
Yeah, I
so
thought
here
something's
we are,
wrong.
That was great.
Yes. I was
Anyway.
like, oh, what's this button do? Oh, well, that's a lot better.
That's the other engine.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, let's pop over to Honda. And now I was following one of these Passport Trail Sports the other day, and I thought, that is a good-looking vehicle. It's got enough of the chunky off-road looks without being, a Walter Mitty type. It looked good. It's angular, but it's not overdone like, let's say, a Hummer or something like that. So it's not in your face.
Yeah.
It's just enough. You know what I say, when you're making a car, you don't want to go too far, or any vehicle, SUV in this case. You don't want to go too far and go over the top with the styling because it goes crazy, right? Well, this thing looks good, and apparently I'm not alone with thinking this, because the third generation Passport, which revived the decades-old nameplate in 2019, it's kind of a two-row Pilot, basically. It has been selling record-setting sales, up 73% through the first 11 months of 2025. I like it. I think it's got just enough military look to it. It's got just enough, off-road tough guy look to it without being over the top. And I do love how they embossed the back hatch with Passport. I thought that is a cool look. What say you?
It's a perfect case of not overdoing it, but making it look fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard to do. Also, it's been described as having a minivan-like interior.
Okay.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it means it's roomy. That means it's very accessible. You don't have to climb up.
Right.
To get in it. It's got all the right things. And I agree with you. It's a good-looking, obviously very capable SUV.
Yeah.
And not a bad price.
No, and also they have the Trail Sport version, which like many vehicles, it has a more capable version for off-roading, raised up a bit, lifted suspension, steel underbody skid plates, all-terrain tires. I kind of like it. I really do, and it's got good reliability. It is. I can see why it's a hit. Last time I drove one, I thought, wow, this is really nice. And if you don't need 3 rows, this might be the one for you. Just great looking sheet metal. I compare it to the 4Runner from Toyota. That sort of has a lot of add-ons, has a scoop on the hood. And I know that's the nature of that vehicle, but this one looks a little bit smoother, and I like it. I like that. I probably wouldn't get the orange color, but I would consider something like that. I think it's capable and good looking and reliable. Probably has more of a car-like interior, I would say, right? You were saying?
Yes, and the non-trail sport, of course, has a car-like ride.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's really a lot of kind of the best of all worlds.
Yep. Also, we should mention the Prelude is off to a good start. It has a starting price of $43,165. Some dealers are gouging. Somebody was up over 60 some odd $1,000. They wonder why they don't like the dealers when they do stuff like that. Well, I can do that. I'm allowed to do that. Yeah, but do you want to do it? You just make all your money on one sale, and then that guy never comes back.
There are other dealers. Don't get caught up in paying these extra dealer markups.
Just it's not worth it.
Look around.
Look around and say, I'm here now. I will buy it. I'm not buying it with, $20,000 tacked onto it. So
that's right.
But that's been doing well for them. What's not doing well for a lot of people, though, are inexpensive sports cars. A matter of fact, over at Subaru's BRC sales it's the worst selling vehicle, basically, of the lineup. The worst selling vehicle. They sold more Solterras in November 2025 than they did in BRZs. They just sold 187 BRZs in November of 2025 compared to 232 Solterra EVs. Right. And it's a shame. It's a good looking vehicle. What do you think? Is it because it doesn't have all wheel drive? It's, not appealing, or is it just a problem with two-door sports cars? Because there's some talk that the Miata is struggling too. That's having sales trouble.
You hit it right on the head. It's two-door sports cars, not convertibles. They're just not appealing to most people. They don't have a lot of room. They don't have a lot of carrying ability, obviously. It's not like it's a toy, but it's just like it's not practical enough for the typical buyer who's normally somebody between, let's say, 25 and 35. It's a little bit expensive for a second car because you don't want to give it to your teenager.
Right.
Not that they're dangerous, but teenagers should be in something less sporty, less, let's say, tempting to check out its handling at high speeds.
A little less agile, a little less horsepower, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And and you're not going to try to pack three of your friends into that little tiny back seat. So it's too bad. By the way, the BRZ, this is its swan song. This is it.
Yeah.
The last one is going to be sold when the last one sells out of the dealerships.
And there's some talk that Toyota will keep building the 86, which is basically the same car. Right now it has a Boxer in it. I reviewed that vehicle not that long ago. But they say, Toyota says, maybe we'll go a different route. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll build it the next one on our own, or we'll find another company to team up with. So who knows? Maybe they'll team up with Nissan and make a small Z car. Who knows?
That would be a great team. I'd love to see it.
But as I said, Miata sales are struggling as well,
Yep.
and that's even smaller. So that is just a very small platform, but it has its core audience. But the problem is that core audience will only buy so many vehicles. So that's right. That's what
Yeah.
they
I mean, the Miata has been around since 1989, right?
pretty much the same way. Of course, they added folding
Yeah,
retractable tops
and the original owners are now grandparents,
yeah.
and their grandkids are buying Miatas, but eventually, like many small sports cars, you just don't have a big enough audience. So
Right.
I don't think the Miata is going to go away anytime soon, but it's been a phenomenally successful car, like the MGB was before the days of the Japanese taking over the British sports car market.
Yes. Yes. And now the Chinese, I believe, are doing the same thing. But
And now the Chinese.
yeah. While we're on Mazda, we were just talking about the Miata. Let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about the new 2026 CX-5. The trend in the past was to put everything on the screen, right? Controls,
Yeah.
haptic controls, things like that. Now the trend has gone the other way. People have said, whoa, I want buttons and knobs. I don't want to leaf through menus and try to find controls with my finger as we're going down the road. I want to have dedicated controls. Well, kind of controversial. Mazda released a picture of the interior of the new CX-5 for 2026. It has an available 15.6-inch
Whoa.
touchscreen. So that's basically a larger laptop screwed to your dashboard. And a lot of the controls are now just touch screen controlled. It's almost as if this was in development and then the industry changed and they couldn't change fast enough with it. So I don't know. What do? You release a controller that you can tape to the bottom
You
of the
have to.
screen, or
You have
what?
to. I mean, the cost to change in midstream like this, to say, okay, wait a minute, we can't do this. We have to develop actual knobs and buttons. That's at the factory level, to do that, you're looking at tens and many tens of millions of dollars.
I know
So
why they do this because you can easily update the controls. You
right,
can add features. You can do over-the-air updates and that. But maybe the answer is somewhere in between to have like programmable macro buttons, like the Stream Deck I use during the show, where I can make it do anything. That's what you need. You need like a Deck type thing with some knobs and
yeah,
buttons, and you say, "Hey, when I push the number one memory, it not only adjusts the seat, it also adjusts what those macro knobs do." A matter of fact, if you could make something to plug it in like with a USB port and do that, it would alleviate this problem. But I see why they do it. It's like software. Most of the software, there's no way you could make a physical panel to control it, but you could make something that is programmable panel to control it. That's what I
you
think.
could. I suspect there will be a mid-cycle update of some kind. But on the other hand, Mazda owners, they're still the Zoom set. I know that they don't use that
Yeah, they haven't
marketing
used that
thing
for a
anymore.
while. That kid is
No,
probably like 65 years old. They used to
yeah,
say
but the
so.
fact is, Mazda appeals in different ways to people, and I think that the touch screen is okay with Mazda, but I wouldn't advise them to do it on future CX-9s or bigger uh, vehicles because it's they got to follow the industry, and I'm sure they will. I mean, they're not stupid.
Yeah,
So,
I hope they do follow the industry. First off, I don't like that look with the big screens. A lot of people
I
do,
don't either.
but
I really don't.
like I say, it
Yeah,
looks like you glued your laptop to your dashboard. That's 16-inch
yeah,
screen is a bigger laptop type of thing.
and
So
they're never integrated nicely. They're always just look like
no,
they've been stuck on.
I took out my
In
Velcro, my roll of Velcro, and went.
That's right. And they've been stuck on on top of the AM radio.
Yes, yeah, just
Or
get
the
it
air
up there.
conditioning controls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I agree. I
yeah.
agree. Well, we'd like to hear what you think out there, audience, and is it a good idea? Maybe some people like it. Maybe people say, I want it to look
Eh,
like a Tesla, but I'm not one of them. But hey, to each his own.
well,
It has sparked some concern though with potential
yes.
CX owners. So. Hey, let's go over to Nissan. Now, this is the new Nissan Hybrid Rogue. And if you look at it closely, it looks seriously like something else you've seen before, like perhaps that plug-in Outlander from Mitsubishi. And there's a good reason for that. Of course,
It is.
Nissan and
It is similar.
yeah, very similar. Is it different enough, though? It looks different than the other Rogues, but is it a case of badge engineering, or is it, hey, well, they put their spin on it, and it's different enough. To me, it looks very much like the plug-in Outlander. I don't know.
Well, I think you're being kind.
Okay, it's not
The
bad
fact is,
looking. It just looks like
no,
the other vehicle.
it's not bad looking, but it looks like it's an Outlander that got a couple panels stuck on it. And by the way, the Outlander is a very, very good vehicle.
Nothing wrong with it.
Knocking it,
Yeah.
but it just looks like. Look, we didn't have much money here.
Yeah, we're hurting.
We're hurting real bad, and we've got a small budget. But if we can throw some extra panels and some different
Upholstery.
upholstery and different color and wheels and plaster Nissan on it,
Yeah.
or Rogue, then this is what we can do, and we can do it very cheaply, and we've got ourselves a product. And let's face it, GM and Ford and Chrysler did this for
years.
decades.
Yeah.
Back in the 50s and 60s, and it was very successful with the exception of the Pontiac Aztek.
Well, even later, Les, they did that. I mean, it was every vehicle became a Chevy, a Pontiac,
That's
an
true.
Oldsmobile,
Yes.
a Buick, and that was it. But I mean, this is not a bad looking vehicle. It has an output of 248 horsepower, 332 pound-feet of torque. You can charge the battery in just 7.5 hours on a level 2 charger. It's a 20 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. It now has a Nissan steering wheel and some really nice upholstery. It's a nice looking interior. It has 7 drive modes: all-wheel drive, normal, power, eco, tarmac, gravel, snow, and mud. Mud 4, by the way. 64 mile per gallon E and 26 mile per gallon combined when operating on gas.
That's really good.
Nice looking seats, don't you think? I think.
And and the other thing they've got going for them is the Rogue is a super popular Nissan.
Yeah.
It has been a real mainstay for 20 years, and I think it was a smart decision, even though I can't say this for sure, but I'm going to just speculate that it's actually a Mitsubishi
Yes, I think you'd be.
under all that.
I think
Yeah,
you. But let's face it. I mean, other brands do that. I mean, Lexus does that with a lot of brands, a lot of
sure.
different vehicles. This is just so close. I'll throw another theory out there that Mitsubishi has such a small footprint. A lot of people might not realize that it is a Mitsubishi. And let's face it, how these things work is people walk into a dealership, I want a hybrid. If you don't have a hybrid, you're like, see ya.
That's it. They walk out.
So having a hybrid, say, yes, we have a hybrid. Here it is. I don't know if the average person would realize that's what it is. It may not be a bad thing. It's a good plug-in hybrid. Matter of fact, I think it was the first plug-in hybrid SUV brought to the U.S., wasn't it?
It is. It is, and I think they'll sell. I just hope that all of their products sell enough to keep them floating. But frankly, I think I like it. I think it looks good. I didn't think for a while initially. I said, well, it sure looks familiar. But it took me a while to realize, wait a minute, that's a Mitsubishi. So
where have I seen that? Hey, don't I know you?
Yeah, we do this stuff all the time. We know all these vehicles. So the fact that we don't pick it up right away, I don't think the typical buyer will notice it or even care.
I don't think they'll care either. But one thing people do care about, believe it or not, is minivans. They're caring for them again, and they're realizing you get a lot for your money with a minivan. And as this article said, the big box is back.
Yep.
Let's start off with some of the best-selling models, including from Kia. Kia has a best-selling model called the Carnival, and what they've done with this model is they made it look like an SUV. They've squared off the front. Oh, the only way you can tell it's not an SUV is you've got those two door handles together. But this is selling like gangbusters for them. You can carry massive amounts of luggage, cargo, other stuff, put the seats down, and basically haul. And luxurious interior. I mean, the Carnival has these seats that are recliners, basically, in the back. In other parts of the world, these are executive transport. And you and I have been on events where, this is what they use to take you around, and it makes sense. You can get in and out of it easily.
That's right. We picked this very vehicle is one of the top 10 coming up at the DC Auto Show, where minivans are noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just I've actually been around these and sat in them, and boy, they're comfortable. I mean, it's
like your living room on wheels.
Exactly. You slide into the back door, you step up about 8 inches to get in, and you have captain's chairs in the first 2 rows. I mean, come on. This is really a super luxurious people mover.
Yes.
And there's lots of room behind the tailgate, and just everything about a minivan says I can take a lot of people a long distance comfortably. And there are lots of, the cup holders are still there.
And another big seller is the Honda Odyssey. That is doing
Honda
well.
Odyssey.
Yeah. I've never quite liked the side shape of this, how the belt line is kind of a strange shape, but hey, it sells well. And there's a lot of hybrids available too. That Carnival from Kia has a available hybrid. The Pacifica, which is getting a big update. new interior, new dashboard, external changes coming up. I mean, people are seeing this trend. It's more for your money. A lot of them are available with all-wheel drive, which people really want. A lot of them are available with hybrids. Pacifica Hybrid, I think, was the first. The Sienna is available from Toyota as a hybrid. I believe they're all hybrids. So these things are great. I mean, they're also great if you do Uber or Lyft because it's the perfect vehicle.
That's right. You can bring an entire circus in there.
Yeah.
And they're getting that. The other thing is that they drive like a car.
Yeah.
Like a sedan. They handle well. They're quiet. They're just so practical that it was inevitable they would have a big comeback.
Yeah. Well, like you say, hang on to those bell-bottom jeans from the 60s because they will come back.
That's right. I still have my Paisley prints.
They'll be back, Les. Just hang on to them.
You keep telling me that, but I have a feeling they're gone.
All right. Well, one thing that's not gone is the G-Class from Mercedes. And what they're working on now is the first ever soft top version of this, which it's hard to believe. There's never been a soft top version, but they are working on this through tough testing, as the folks over at Mercedes say. I could see this as a soft top, and it looks pretty good in the dazzle camouflage. I don't think we know when it will be available. They say it will be available in the future. So
yeah,
that's about all we know about it.
That's right. And it's completing its test miles in Austria.
Yes. Okay.
So if you go over there, you can probably see one.
Top down in Austria in the winter would be rough testing.
I don't think so. Yeah, better have a good heater.
You better have a good heater and a good hat.
And ski boots.
Yes. Yes.
But the fact is, they'll be over here and they'll sell.
Yes. Yes, they definitely will. Well, performance cars, you said two-door performance cars don't sell well. We've seen that with the BRZ. We've seen that Mazda's Miata sales are down a little bit, even Mustang somewhat.
Oh, yeah.
But what about four-door performance cars in the form of the 2026 Hyundai Elantra N TCR edition? It is coming to the U.S., and it's going to keep that giant wing out back with swan neck struts. They do look like swan neck struts. I have driven the Elantra N. This is going to be an even hotter version of it, not from horsepower-wise, but aerodynamics and Alcantara interior. I'm not a fan of the wing since we're not running top fuel, but apparently some people are. And some of it, most of this is the wing, but you do get things like TCR-specific details, including a custom door puddle lamp and TCR edition on the rear. 286 horsepower, with the temporary boost, the end grin button. Normally 276, 6-speed manual gearbox or 8-speed dual clutch automatic. The Elantra N drives great, and those numbers are no different. The TCR just gets Alcantara interior. It's got the white stripe on the wheel. It's got the aerodynamic stuff on it. But what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the most popular forms of motorsports and affordable is the sports sedan, the high-performance sports sedans, rather than sports cars, rather than formula cars. And they're a blast to drive. You can sling these things around a track. It's a wonderful vehicle to take racing lessons, driving lessons. You gotta do that. I think, in spite of the wing, I think this is the way to go, because for the dollar, for the for the laughs and excitement per dollar, you just can't get anything else that'll give you as much thrill and keep you relatively safe at the same time.
And you can haul your friends along.
Absolutely.
Haven't you seen the Toyota Corollas out there where nothing's done to them, but the guy bolted a big wing to the back, to the trunk lid? I've seen them. I'm sure you have. And it's it's still got the base steel wheels with plastic wheel covers, but it's got the wing on it. If you're going to spend money that way, why not? I mean,
now, the wing actually is effective, but you're not likely to get to the speed at which it is effective.
What would you say that speed is? 200 miles an hour?
About 100.
Okay.
And remember, that's just downforce on the rear wheels. And if it's essentially a front wheel drive car, if it's an all wheel drive, of course, that's different. But keeping the rear end down on the road at high speed is rather important. Otherwise, you may be driving backwards if you overdo a turn. So, no, I just think these things make an awful lot of sense, and they're not just priced so high that they're just unaffordable.
Well, remember what I said before, where you don't want to. There's a certain line that if you go too far,
that's right.
I think this with the wing might be too far for me, but. I'm more of a wicker bill, spoiler guy down low. But you know what? It's okay. It really is. It's okay. Whatever floats your boat, and that's good. Hey, let's talk a little tech. You game to talk a little tech?
Absolutely.
All right. So I grew up around a 2-stroke engine, Detroit diesel. It's a 2-stroke diesel engine, and it was, it's kind of said that it's the engine that won World War II because it was in everything. And 2-stroke, we're not mixing oil and gas, but it's just a different way of combustion. Every stroke is a power stroke. Normally in 4-stroke, there's 1 stroke that doesn't do anything, but in a 2-stroke engine, it's efficient. The problem is it was loud, which I kind of like the sound, but it was loud.
And it was dirty.
And it was dirty because they were using a supercharger. That's where the supercharger, it's a root supercharger, but when you look at that, it looks like a supercharger on top of a gas engine, but they were just scavenging. They just used it to blow the exhaust gases out in the ports, in the liners. So it would just, when the piston came down, it would go and blow that exhaust gas out. Well, now, GM is apparently working on a modern 2-stroke engine. You and I talked about this on Cruise Control Motoring in the past. We actually had a guest on about this, not from GM, from another company. But the idea is it's more efficient, and it could be a whole new chapter for internal combustion. And it's so funny when you read the comments on these stories. People are like, "Oh, it's like a chainsaw engine, or it's like a weed whacker engine." No, you don't mix the oil and gas together here.
Yeah, the thing about 2-strokes, existing 2-strokes, is that they have to rev very high to develop a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
But they can develop a whole lot of power.
Oh, sure.
But so what GM wants to do is make it kind of like a 2-stroke diesel, which doesn't have to rev very high to make a lot of power. But you need to be pretty sophisticated about it. And they're using these sliding valves, ports on the cylinder walls. I think, and let's face it, GM has a lot of expertise with diesels. And engines in particular. So I'd like to see one of these.
Yeah, as you put to the problem, there's a small period of overlap where both the intake and exhaust ports are open in this setup, and that lets unburnt hydrocarbons out into the atmosphere through the exhaust. So GM is talking about a movable valve that will block this off. Instead of sending those unburnt hydrocarbons out, they'll burn them,
Right.
resulting in
Right.
more power. It's about eking out every bit of performance from a gas engine and thinking out of the box. And actually, sometimes, as I say, it's a big circle. It goes back like we used
It's
to do this. We started this in the 30s. Now
That's right.
and we stopped it in the 90s. Now we're going to go back to it, but in a different way. I think it's
And
interesting.
you get a lot of power out of a very small amount of volume.
Yes.
So it becomes, think about it. You can get a lot of power out of something that doesn't weigh a lot. Maybe it'll rev higher than the typical V8 or four-cylinder, but you won't notice it. My money is in GM's court, and Ford's and Stellantis. These people know how to make engines.
Yeah, and there are new engines on the way. We talked about the
Yep.
new V8 engines that are coming out, and just like we were talking about, I read something this week about the higher displacement new generation V8 will find its way to the Stingray, the base model of the Corvette,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it will be 500 horsepower plus, which is great news, and it will probably get better fuel economy and
That's just remarkable
engineering
and clean,
and
clean running.
we love
Yeah.
it. We love it. Couple of interesting stories here. In one country, Porsche's Macons are shutting down. They now this is a very mysterious thing. They shut down, and it's related somehow to the anti-theft device. So you're driving it, and it just shuts down. And it's not just the Macon, but the Macon was a Porsche club in Russia. This is the country where it's happening. In Russia, has been voicing complaints, and there is widespread awareness about this. This comes to us from the Russian news sites RBC. Hundreds of Porsches vehicles dating back as far as 2013 are affected, and it's all Porsche's models with gas engines could potentially have this problem, including Cayenne and 911. So what's causing this? There's some thought it might be a hack from Ukraine or some
Could be.
bad actor trying to hack these cars. Or it could be that there's so much radar jamming and signal jamming going on because of the war that this could be affecting these vehicles. What do you think?
I would say it's more likely that it's electromagnetic interference from jamming from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's Porsche's software isn't designed to be that robust that it can. We're talking about micro currents
Right.
running these ECUs in the cars. So it doesn't take much to just overwhelm it.
So let's say you've been to your Ford dealer and you've had some problems with your vehicle, right? And it's been back multiple times and they haven't been able to fix it. Well, there's apparently a secret new car discount that can be given to you to prevent you from walking, to prevent you from saying, hey, I'm going to another manufacturer and I'm going to be a conquest. But you can't really ask for it. And this is according to a report from Cars Direct. You can't just walk in and say, I'm upset with my Ford and I'm not going to buy one unless you give me the deal. But it will be 10% off a new car, but it's calculated as 10% of the MSRP of the vehicle you already own. So you can't say, I had a Escape, and I get but I can't get $10,000 off of expensive Lincoln. But it's sort of a secret deal because Ford
Yeah.
knows that they've had a lot of problems. And the question is, well, if you've had a lot of problems, would a 10% discount on a new car make you buy another Ford?
Well,
Jim
for most
Farley
people,
says yes, because they know that you're working on the problem. But I don't know, What do you think?
it to me it depends on the problem. If it's a problem I'm confident they can fix, okay, I'm fine. Give me the discount, and I'll buy the new Escape. If it's a problem that is chronic and they just haven't found a fix, then no, I'm not interested. I'm getting away from this and buying a Honda or
Right,
or a Kia or something else.
right. Interesting stuff. Hey, back over to Mercedes. Let's talk about their CLA pricing. This is their brand new electric, this car has probably been in the mix for a long time, but it is here. And even though electric cars are not selling that well, they are
No,
bringing out this CLA. Um, Pretty cool looking design on this.
you know, I I would yes, I was about to interrupt you and just say this is a really good looking car.
I
It's
agree.
just a slick looking, curvy. Um, it doesn't look like most other modern cars.
No, 374-mile range, which is quite extensive. That's great, and starts from $47,025, which is they call it the highly anticipated Mercedes CLA. It's going to celebrate its U.S. press launch in December, and the first the first vehicles on U.S. roads will hit shortly after that. 800-volt electric architecture, and it can significantly reduce charging times. A DC fast charging up to 320 kilowatts is possible to add 100 miles of range in just 5 minutes, and up to 202 miles of
Yeah,
range in as little as 10 minutes. 202, not just 200. It's those 2 miles that really do it.
it's frankly, I think this car is a bit of a bargain.
Yes,
Uh,
it has a pinnacle trim. It has a standard trim, exclusive trim, and pinnacle trim. And as I say, it starts. I don't think we have pricing on each of the trims, do we? No, we don't. We don't. But it does start at a fairly affordable
no, it
$47,000.
starts at 47,2501,
Which is
and
not bad.
with the dual motor is 49 8,000
Yeah, not
or
bad.
800. That's downright affordable.
That's right. The 47,000 2501 is 268 horsepower, and then the 49,800 is the 349 horsepower, which is great. That's great. The higher horsepower model has a 312-mile range, 0 to 60 in 4.8, which is pretty snappy. Here's a vehicle that costs a lot.
Now, see, I want one of these for Christmas, Fred.
Yeah. Now, this is the GM SV S1 Gordon Murray special vehicle. They have announced the S1 LM Supercar Chassis 1.
Yes.
Sold for $20,630 at an auction in Las Vegas. It is a British driver-centric. I believe the driver does sit in the middle in this one as well.
Sits in the middle like a McLaren.
Yeah, and it was sold for that price. What do you think of that? Now there's an expensive car.
That's an expensive toy. I want to drive it. I want to go to my high school reunion in it and refer to it as, the car.
Yeah. Let me get my small car. Yeah.
This thing has to be really exciting.
Yeah, I would imagine it would. Most things that are $20 million, I hope, would be exciting.
That's right.
Yeah, but it is quite a bit of instant collectible. So it has a bespoke, it actually says that here, bespoke.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
4.3 liter V12 engine producing 720 pascals. At 12,100 horsepower. So 720 pascals. Can you do your fast calculation?
I'm going to do a real quick conversion. It's about 800 horsepower.
Okay. It has a newly optimized 6-speed manual gearbox and a race-inspired road-perfected suspension. And, of course, it's made out of carbon fiber. Naked polish carbon fiber interior featuring unique artistic detailing. It's bespoke.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you have it. They can build one for you, Gordon Murray.
Well, that's impressive. I mean, it's, if you can afford something like this, by all means get it, but take care of it.
Didn't one of the Beatles have one of the original Gordon Murray vehicles where you sit in the middle? And Mr. Bean did too. Yes, but I think George Harrison had one, and he had John Lennon on one side and someone else on the other. I don't think it was Paul McCartney, but they said, "Oh, it's an interesting way to sit in a car."
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I don't know about the Beatles, but of the Top Gear team, you would think Richard or Jeremy would have it, but in fact, James May has the last Mark IV GT40 ever built.
Wow.
Built by Ford, actually, Holman and Moody. And not only is it the last street version, which is fully qualified as a race car, but it has, lights and other stuff for street, but it is the only one they ever built that was air conditioned. And it's a beautiful car. I've seen pictures of it. And I think, what is this thing worth?
Yes.
It's got to be $30-40 million.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. Anyway, it's
pretty cool.
It's not mine. That's what bothers me the most.
Hey, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control Motoring. If you did, please send us a nice message on one of our social media platforms. We enjoy getting the likes and the follows and all that and more. Time for me to say, I'm Fred Staab.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.